So, hello, listeners, all seven of you, maybe more. Welcome to the Death Metal Disco podcast. I am here with a longtime friend, former coworker, way back in the day, Tasha Seeing Stars. She has herself an OnlyFans and agreed to do this for me, which is awesome because I've had a couple people flake out, and that gets old. So, say hi to Tasha. We can't hear you because this is not live, and there's nobody here. So I have this thing where this thing comes with cheering. And that shit goes on for like 30 seconds. So I'm not going to play that whole thing. But yeah, I was messing around with that. And I was like, oh, sounds. Yay.
How fun.
um,
Say hi into the
yeah, I
void.
guess. Right. Exactly. If you stare long enough, it'll stare back. So anyway, Tasha, we've known each other since the grocery store days. How long ago was that?
Oh
I
gosh,
left
I
in
think
2007, the beginning of 2007.
okay, yeah, I started in
I think she just hung up on me.
kicked me
Did it kick
out.
you out?
It did. I had to
Oh, well, that's
reconnect.
unfortunate.
Okay. I think it's all good now.
Welcome back.
Hey.
We're keeping that in.
Yeah, so I started working at oh gosh, the great old retail store. What would that have been? 2002? 2001. And I think I met you at 41 or 78?
78, yeah. Because I was there from
78.
2001 till I left.
Okay, so that would have been the first time I was at 78. So probably like 2003, probably right before you quit.
Somewhere in there. I think we probably
2002
had a
or
little more time than that,
2003.
but long time ago, either
Not
way.
very long.
How long
Yeah,
ago did you get out
yeah.
of there?
Well, I was there total for 12 years and I got out in like 2013, 2014.
So that was like before you moved
2013.
out of state, right?
I quit in Vegas actually. So I transferred to Vegas with Kroger, and they told me I would retain my insurance, and they told me I'd retain my seniority, and I moved, and I did not. I didn't retain jack shit.
Wish I was
So
surprised.
I walked out the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, and I said bye.
Perfect time. Perfect time. That's
It
awesome.
was a total douche move. It seriously was. I was a baker in the bakery. It was a total douche move. But yeah, I was the only one doing something in my department for the holiday, and my manager scheduled me. And so I said bye.
That's par for the course for
I feel like if I feel like if my transfer didn't go the way it did, I wouldn't have done that. But
yeah.
it did. So I was like, who cares?
Yeah, I had the same thing when I left Store 25 originally when I was still in high school. I just graduated and I moved to Greeley for college, and they accepted my transfer and everything. Well, that went from a union to a non-union store, and I lost all seniority.
Oh,
And I didn't know it
yeah.
until I think I got a paycheck for my vacation that I hadn't taken. I'm like, the hell is this? And then they were doing something, and they said, oh, you don't have any vacation time. I'm like, what the hell? And then I figured out what happened, and then I over winter break, I they were kicking us out of our dorms. Me and the um what they call it, the RA. We lived on the. He was actually my roommate's brother. But he's like, dude, I got us a house. Like we can pay. It's gonna be $200 just to stay in this house for the month of December because they were closing our entire dorm. And then that fell through last minute. So I was like, mom, I need to come home. And she's like, all right. So I came home and I immediately transferred back to 25 and lost all my seniority of 4 months again. I was like, what the hell is actually happening with my life? But it's all that union to non union shit. And that was
Yeah.
infuriating. The second time I kind of understood because it's like I walked off the job there and then got hired by 25 again. I was so pissed, but
Uh-huh.
it is what it is.
That stuff was so wild.
Man, looking back, that was a long time ago.
Just
Getting old.
the things you don't know before, and you're like, oh, I'm prepared, I'm doing the right
Yep.
thing, and then you learn, and you're like, what the actual fuck did I do?
Yeah, it was nuts. Like I remember my RA he told me about the house. It was gonna be me and him, and it's a house that like 5 or 6 dudes were living in that were all students and friends of his. And they were going, I want to say they were going to Vale for the month. It was like 3 weeks that the dorms would be closed. And
Yeah,
he worked it out with them. And then I think 2 days before we were supposed to go and stay there, like he said, nope, their trip got canceled, so they're staying home, and nothing else was around that you could stay in because it's winter break, and either everything's closed or everything's
yeah,
booked. And it's like, all right, coming home, which it's an hour, whatever. But kind of sucked about the job
sure,
thing.
sure, yeah, one time.
You have to forgive me. My throat has been very weird today.
You'll see me sucking on water just so I don't have the dry. Yeah,
Yeah,
mine's been jacked up
it's
too.
because I ate a little while ago, and every time I eat, it's like my throat gets fucky for a little bit. So
Hmm.
half the time when I'm editing this shit, it's me clearing out throat clearings and coughing. That's that's what it is. It's like an hour and a half episode turns into like an hour just me editing out all that shit. Okay.
It's so funny. People don't understand how much goes into the creation of things, like editing
Yeah.
alone.
And that's gonna be one of my questions for you, just because like I follow you on the Snapchat, as the old man says, the internet.
Oh, I lost
Um
that bitch. You gotta get added to the new one.
oh, did you lose the new one? That one?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. On
Hmm,
Friday.
shady individuals and their shady practices.
Bye.
Um
Bye.
yeah, so that's one of the questions I got about how much time and all that. But so we've known each other a long time. I really do appreciate you doing this. It's killer of you. Not a lot of people would be down to divulge information about that. But it's awesome. So, like I said, Tasha has an OnlyFans account, and some of you probably know. Some of my listeners have at least heard of OnlyFans. I imagine some of you know very well what OnlyFans provides. I know a little bit, mostly things I've Googled. I signed up for an account at one point. One of my friends, she had one, and it was like $5 a month or whatever. And every day, all she would do is post like a 2-minute video just wishing everybody a good day. That's all it was, which I thought was awesome. Then she started doing a cooking show type of thing. I think she did
Yeah,
two episodes of that and then stopped, but she's got
yeah,
lots of stuff going on in her life, and that's just the way it goes. But from what I know, OnlyFans is most commonly associated to adult content, safe to say. And I remember, I don't know, was it 2 years ago? They were about to restrict all of their adult content so that you couldn't post anything other than artistic nudes, that type of thing. And they were about to lose, I don't know what the percentage was, but it had to be at least 80% of their content creators just because of that. And then they're like, okay, maybe we won't do that because that's our cash cow.
maybe that's a
Um,
bad idea.
maybe we'll just restrict a few things within that environment. And I was reading blogs about it
Yes.
just because I was like, this is a big deal for these people. Because when it comes to content like that, sorry, when it comes to content like that,
You're good.
most people think, oh, porn stars. The internet has made available to every average person to go do whatever they want to do very easily, such as host a podcast or create whatever kind of content they want. And you and I talked about it when I first found your I don't remember, it was your Instagram or your Snapchat randomly, and we talked about it. Everybody's a perv. Some are just more honest about it, and that's true. Um, whether they want to say so or not, that's true. Uh, the OnlyFans stigma has been, I've talked to people that pretend they know nothing about it, that they haven't even heard about it. I know a couple that actually do know nothing about it, which is weird to me because it's like everywhere. No matter how much people talk about it, It's everywhere. You hear, "Oh, hey, you're broke. You should start an OnlyFans. Need an extra cash for your trip. You should start an OnlyFans." And then with that stigma, or with just saying you should start an OnlyFans, comes the, "Oh, I don't want to sell. I don't want to take pictures of my body or whatever." I've read about a girl who sells pictures of her feet, and she's making six figures. She must have really nice feet. That's all I gotta say. I don't even have a feet thing, but that's seems like a lot of money for pictures of her feet. But whatever. Um, so that's what I know about it. And you can pay. I know you can do monthly subscriptions. So
Yeah.
as a purchaser, I could sign up and follow you or follow a different creator for, whatever amount a month I'm willing to pay. And I know that they can also, you can also sell pay-per-view content via messaging or on your wall or whatever. That's what I know about it, and it's just whatever I'm willing to pay, and that's what I know. But I know you have to have kind of a huge social media presence too, or at least I've heard that, read that, whatever. So my first question: how long have you been doing it?
I started, oh, it would have been 2021, right? End of 2021.
That's what I was thinking. I
About
was trying to
year
think
and a
this
half.
morning about how long it was, and I was thinking right around 2 years, but wasn't sure.
Yeah.
And has it always
But
been?
that's been selling, oh, sorry,
Okay.
that's been selling content. I've been on OF since May of last year. So I'm coming up on my 1 year on OF.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. Because I sold stuff prior to opening one because, yeah, to answer your question, you do have to have quite a bit following to get approved to start one. And
Right.
so I was still growing that kind of when I first thought about doing it. And I got denied when I first applied.
Just because you
So I
didn't
had
have
to
the
have that
following.
grow. And then, yeah, I didn't have the following.
That's so crazy to
And
me.
so then my TikTok got up to 17,000 followers, and that's when I got approved.
Was that before they
I
killed
think it
your
was
TikTok
15.
off again?
I think it was 15.
Because you've had a
My
couple of
first
TikToks.
account, yeah, that I have. I should just name it always banned. But yeah, yep.
Yeah, that's. I was talking
Yeah,
to a girl that I know very very loosely. We've met at shows and stuff like that, and she's cute. And she was talking about trying to start one, but she was waiting for them to approve her socials, and I didn't know that was a thing. So that's how I'd heard about that. But so where else did you start before OnlyFans? Because there's a bunch of different sites on there. Like there's the webcam sites
yeah.
where it's live interaction with people on the other end of a webcam. Um, and then there's other video hosting sites, some of which I can't remember any of their names right now. But you might see in ads, like if you're scrolling through Instagram or Thoughtstagram, as I've heard it referred to sometimes. You'll see links to what is it? Fansly, I think, is another one that competes with
Yeah.
OF.
Yep.
Um, I
Yeah.
can't think of the other ones right now.
There's there's I think, well, because I'm still really kind of new to the tech side of, I don't know, life. I'm really just not techie. So this has actually pushed me into a lot of that learning. But Fansly, I know there's mini vids. I think a lot of people do a lot
Minivids.
of the growing of the supporters on like Twitch and things like
Sure,
that.
sure. Which does not surprise me because when I
Um,
was on Twitch, I have a Twitch account that I've like, oh, I should be a streamer on Twitch. I don't want to have people look at my face. Like I'm trying not to look at my face over here right now, but um, I've looked and there's a lot of like really heavily, we'll say heavily modified physically individuals who do ASMR stuff, which I don't get the ASMR thing a lot, but like literally have microphones that are made to look like ears, and then they just lick those things. And that blows my mind. Like that people will pay subscriptions just to watch these pretty girls lick a microphone that is made to look like a set of ears, which was designed specifically for ASMR recordings of mouth noise. That's
there is a need. People are incredible.
it's
People are so incredible. There's a niche for
there
everything.
really
It's
is.
wild.
It's I've always
These,
been a big fan of people watching. You can call me a voyeur or whatever, but
yeah,
people watching and like studying human actions, like sociology, I was kind of a big thing. Psychology, those kind of go hand in hand, but
yeah.
um that stuff blows my mind. Like It's not for me. I don't judge, or I try not to judge. I probably judge a little bit, but
But it's still just like wild. You're like, dang, wow,
and they're doing
this,
really well with it, which is what
yeah,
really
yeah,
blows my mind is not that they're doing it, but they're making a I don't know if I'd call it sustainable, but they're making a solid income just off of record. And I'm sure a lot of it comes to the video aspect. Just getting the ASMR sounds is one thing, but seeing a hot girl and then thinking, oh, yeah, it's like she's licking my ear, or kissing my neck. Lonely guys, I could see that for sure, or even women. I could see that being the thing that's like, that's what I'm into today, and I'm going to pay $10 a month for that now, or whatever I decide to pay. But just the amount of people, when I told people I was going to Japan, they're like, oh my God, they have such a weird culture there. And I'm like, we're not far off. It's just a little less flashy and a little less obvious. So kind of puritanical, but so you were selling content before OF. Where were you selling? Are you still selling elsewhere or just on OF now?
yeah. No, I have a Fansly. I'm looking at what it takes to start a mini vids, but mainly prior when I first started, it was on Snapchat.
Oh, really?
It was on Snapchat, the one I just lost. Yeah, yeah. That's what made me push into starting an actual legitimate site was it's a lot to manage. It was a lot to
Oh, I have no
manage
doubt.
on just a Snapchat.
That's
It was insane. I was really like obviously very grateful, like that's cool, but at the same time, hot damn, like I definitely needed another platform to help just have someone do it automated
right.
and not me physically. But that was also part of it. I think people saw that interaction. It was more personalized, so it did
And I
well.
think that's the huge appeal for those sites. My shoe keeps falling off. Sorry. Um, I think that's a lot of the appeal for those sites, especially to the lonely folk who just ever since COVID specifically kept people at home, and now people I think are still afraid to like go out and talk to people, and not necessarily because of COVID, but now because
Yeah,
they've been cooped up for so long, they have that anxiety about it, which understandable. But I think you also have the disconnect because of the internet of like right now we're not in the same physical presence as each other. If we didn't have cameras or if we didn't actually know each other, I could say some horrific things or even some overtly sexual things to you, and as a stranger I wouldn't really feel bad if that upsets you, if that makes sense. Um and I think just the personal interaction
100%.
of just
Yeah.
chatting with a girl or chatting with another person without the fear of them seeing you, um or rejecting you for just your physical presence, I think that appeals to a lot of people. And I get that. Like, I get it. AOL chat rooms back in the day, everybody could talk mad shit or flirt with each other, and there was no harm, no foul there
Yeah.
because we're just talking online. And for all I
Who
know,
were
you're
they?
a guy
Yeah.
pretending to be a girl.
Mhm.
Not uncommon.
Mhm.
Catfishing. I don't know where that term came from,
Mm-mm.
but I get that appeal to it. So, but it's weird. Like, and Snapchat messages disappear after 24 hours if you have that set or whatever. So I can understand that, which is weird because I hate online dating sites, and that's kind of the same. So, except a little
Yeah.
different. But
Yeah, totally in the same realm.
so, why did you decide to go to this content creator path, if you will? Not necessarily
Oh
OnlyFans,
my
but
gosh.
just in general.
Yeah. I really love when things in life go very organically and there's not a lot of it's just very, I guess, the universe, if you will. It just puts you in a specific place and you just know it's right. And it happens so easily that it just was hard not to. I got on TikTok because I was sad. My friend told me I go on there to be happy, I go on there to laugh, and so I started a TikTok. And I had people in my DMs so quickly be like, "Where's your content? Where do I find you? How do I do this? How do I do that? Where is that?" And it's well, shoot.
Yeah,
Why not? So it did. It just happened so organically and so just I don't want to say mindlessly because it's not. It's definitely a job, but it was just like why not? And I've always been just an open person in general. I've always been an open person sexually. So it was just like, shoot, let me learn some shit about myself. Let me get more comfortable in my own
Yeah,
skin. Tempt me with a good time. And it has been. It has been such a fun wave of creation that it's just like, all right, I'm in for the ride. Let's
yeah.
go.
That's awesome. I've read blogs or I've seen other um like YouTube podcasts where they're interviewing other girls that create content for OnlyFans, and theirs is I've never heard one that was quite like that. It's almost always I was a dancer somewhere, and then COVID happened, so I needed to do something, and I know COVID helped
Sure.
OnlyFans probably explode just in general for
Oh, most
general
definitely.
content because it's
Yeah.
probably a lot easier to get approved to be a creator for a site like OnlyFans or Fansly or any of those other ones than it is to be a paid content creator for YouTube. Because YouTube, you have to have a minimum amount of followers, a minimum amount of interactions consistently before they'll even put you as their partnership, um, for better or worse. And it's daunting. And I can understand that. And just I like the organic progression that it went for you. Like that makes sense. Like the ones who are just like, oh, immediately I don't like to wear clothes and I like to show people. That's fine too. To each their own. Whatever. Do you. Like, not here to
Yeah.
judge anybody. Not for me. But that's
Sure.
because
Of
like
course. Of
I'm
course.
sure I'm sure there's a market for people who are looking for people like me. I'm not gonna try and find it. That's just me. But yeah, I like that it was organic for you. And not just because of either the potential meal ticket or anything else. Like, you were sad, you were lonely. TikTok is a great place to lose yourself. Like, just to go in, you need a laugh, you're guaranteed to find one on TikTok in relatively quick fashion because there's some
Yes.
creative motherfuckers out there. And somebody can create a
There
video
are. It's so cool.
and take that audio, and now another person can take that audio, make their own video with that audio, and do very well. Like it.
And do a whole different, that's what I love is people take a view on there and then take it to a whole different place. It's so cool. Such
Oh
creativity
yeah,
on there. It's wild. I love
one of
it.
my voiceover, not really my friend, like we don't know each other personally, but I follow him. He's awesome. Is Stefan Johnson. He does a lot of
Yeah.
food reviews. They call him the food daddy, basically. Killer voiceover
Oh,
guy.
I love all the food
He
places. Oh,
he will put out a TikTok with some ridiculous saying about like chicken nuggets or whatever, and then I will see, maybe a day or two later, some random ass shit that has nothing to do with what that audio was originally used for, with the same audio for it, and it works. Like, it's just, especially when it's completely opposite of what the original audio was for, and it. He's doing a
yeah.
food review on fast food, and then it's two girls dancing randomly or eating something or promoting their content, and the same, like, damn near delectable is one of the things that he says a lot, and with his voice is damn near delectable. And now it's these
Oh,
two
I love
girls
it.
who went from
Yeah.
clothes to bikinis with the snap of a finger, and okay, that works. Good job. Way to go. Like, reusing, recycling, if you will, which I think is cool. But
Definitely a fun app. I don't know. And I've definitely tried to venture out of just being on TikTok and promoting. I don't have like a management company or nothing like that. And so many of the other places are either really for it, like Twitter's all right. Obviously, you can go and put a lot of not safe for work stuff on
oh
there.
yeah,
But like Instagram, I've lost accounts on Instagram. It's a wild thing to learn to navigate where and how and what's
right.
allowed and like even OF what's allowed. There's so many things that are not allowed on there. It's
Really, yeah.
wild.
I know when they were revamping and then changed their minds about the whole sexual content thing. They allowed it, but then had a restriction on what kind of things that they would allow, for better or worse. To each their own again. But you got to kind of abide
Yeah.
by the platform's rules, and like Instagram's no nudity thing. There's always the debate about man boobs versus women boobs, and hey, this guy's showing his nipples. Why can't I show my nipples? I get that. I get that's a normal debate in real life. The free the nipple and all that.
Yes.
So having it online, like, I don't know, their platform says no nudity. what do you define as nudity? Is it artistic nudity, or is it just me standing in front of the window with my dick out? Whatever, which I try to avoid doing. So that's just me. So like I said, I've been following you on your that Snapchat, which is now gone. So I guess I have to find your other one. Um, for a while. How long does it take you to work on those videos? Do you just use the TikTok platform? Do you use CapCut? Do you use whatever? But how long do you spend creating the promotional content? Not even the OF content, but the actual stuff to draw people in to go to your site.
It is nonstop. No, I mean, if you get an idea, you go and you, at least the way I have squirrel ADHD real bad. So if I get an idea, I stop and I do it right then and there so I can get it out of my head and put it into the universe and start using it. But all the time, I'm constantly doing marketing and cutting or trying to figure out different ways to get my stuff out there. It's nonstop for the
Sure.
promotional side of it and creating those kinds of things. But I don't know. Well, being that I do it full time currently, yeah, a few hours a day
Easily just
for
on that side.
sure. Y- Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it's on all platforms because I do have the Fansly and the OnlyFans, but then for the promotional, I have the Reddit and Twitter, and then Instagram. I
Oh
have
yeah.
two of those, and then the Snapchat now, and the new one. Um, yeah, and I
I
still
always
need
forget
to
about
learn
Reddit.
more places. Yeah, I'm still really new to Reddit, and that is actually a very good place to go to get. I've kind of been pushed into a specific area of content creating that has done well for me. I've kind of found a niche, and that's a really great resource for this kind of content.
Really.
A lot of the people that like that stuff go there.
I don't spend a ton of time on Reddit because finding things on Reddit to me has been like just anything. Like usually I'll end up on Reddit if I Google something like a question about my car or whatever, and or how to edit a video or best ways to use CapCut versus Premiere Pro versus whatever editing software I'm trying to mess with, and I'll find
Oh,
Reddit blogs of people ask or Reddit posts. But navigating Reddit itself, which I think I've done from the computer maybe twice. Usually it's on my phone, just on the app. Um, to me, Reddit's just kind of confusing that way, trying to find all the different subreddits. I'm part of a couple. Like when the band put out our album last year, I signed up for one that was specific to our particular genre of death metal,
yeah.
and you know that one's actually cool because people will upvote your shit and they'll leave comments and actual little snippets of reviews. And so I mean that one I have saved as my go to, even though I'm hardly ever on it. But Reddit's confusing, but I have seen all kinds of crazy shit on there, just randomly coming across it. Kind of like Twitter, it's pretty open and accepting to
Yeah.
whatever you want to post for better or worse. But I just don't think Reddit's easy to use. But I mean, really, I haven't spent that much time on it, so I don't know. But but it's good that it's working out for you because I know there's, like we said, something for everybody. Everybody's got their own little niche of things that they like to do. Reddit's probably fucking got it for you. And it's probably easier to find it than it is on
Most.
Twitter because Twitter, you're searching for keywords and maybe people, but whatever. So that takes up a huge ton of your day. Um, the actual OF side of things, or even the other platforms, how much time do you spend interacting with your followers, your subscribers? Like this DMs specifically.
Um, Yeah, so that really varies obviously on the amount of subs that I have at that time. Sometimes and the type of subs. Some people just like to go on there, see your content, get out, get in, and do their thing.
Sure.
Other people like to have the interaction, like to have. So I mean, sometimes I'll only have a couple hours a day, and then other times it'll be nonstop. I'll be getting DMs all the time, but I'm gonna put a limit on it too because it is still a job. You can't just work
Yeah.
24/7.
Work yourself to
But
death
yeah,
doing
it just
that. Like
depends. Uh,
anything you can overwork yourself in. That's just a fact of life. Like
most.
even a hobby, you spend too much time in that hobby, it's gonna become less of a hobby to you and more like work that you don't feel like doing. So I can get that. I
Yeah.
can get that.
Yeah, and I think I don't necessarily like to claim that I'm a people pleaser, but I like with especially with this kind of job, like you kind of need to be accessible. So I like being able to respond in a timely manner. So I probably put myself out there a little too much, but it's part of it.
Oh, I'm sure, like, you wanna get the followers, and you wanna try and retain the followers, and if you're interacting, that's the best way to retain people. That's just a fact of marketing, a fact of business, you know? If I throw myself out there trying to, um, for voice acting stuff, which I'm lazy about, to be honest, or even this, if I don't continue to interact, people don't remember that I exist, and they won't hang around, and they'll be like, "Oh, yeah. I remember working with that guy," or whatever. Then I gotta start all over, and that's the downside of it all. But being able to interact, I'm sure, is a huge, huge thing. Like I mentioned before, talking to girls online, chat rooms or message boards or just random DMs. You take
Yeah,
away that
yeah.
physical presence and nervousness portion of it. That's got to be a huge seller, I would think. Just my opinion. Good God, my throat. Okay, so that's good. I like this, and I've read. Oh, I just totally forgot what I was going to say about what I read. Oh, we talked about people like to come in and see the content, get in, get out, type of thing, stay for a month, renew, whatever. I saw something, and I think I have a question about it later. But I saw it was a girl that I don't follow anymore for whatever reason, but she had one, and she had posted that she treats it, or somebody in the comments was like, "Why do you charge money for a subscription and then also charge for your paid content within that subscription?"
Hmm.
And she said to think of it, and I think she used to be a dancer. She said to think of it like the strip club. You pay the cover charge to get in, but then if you want the private dance or to see more, you pay for that too. And that makes perfect sense to me. Like, as somebody who
Yeah,
historically frequented the strip clubs, like, it makes perfect sense. So, and that's something that a lot of people don't
I kind
understand.
of yeah. I kind of treat mine the same way. Most of it is pretty out there for your subscription price, but a specific niche or something that is a fetish, yeah, you're gonna pay.
Or even
You're
if it's
gonna
something
have
that,
to pay to see more of that.
yeah, and that makes sense. And even if it's something that, took you a while to make, whether it was, come up with idea, or if you do a creative video edit,
Sure.
like, if it takes you a
Something
while,
I'm really proud
yeah,
of.
charge for
Yeah.
it. I don't remember
Yep.
who said it. They said, don't give away your talents for free. Like, sell that shit. So here we go.
Yep. That's definitely been a huge learning curve from the beginning until obviously now and moving forward is just how much. But you have to also know that it's an added to the life. It's not, it can't be too
Right,
much.
right. Yeah.
it,
And that makes sense. And then you got to find that
finding
happy
that
medium.
happy.
That you were about to say a happy medium,
Hmm.
weren't
Yep,
you?
I was. You almost owed me a Coke. But yeah,
I know what's up. So speaking of DMs, those can be a loaded mess. I mean, just comments even. How do you deal with any
yeah.
negativity either on your social media or the platforms themselves? Because I'm sure
Oh,
I'm
I
sure
love
you
it.
have
I
some,
thrive off of
because
it.
everybody comments negatively about everything for some damn reason, just to troll or whatever. But
Yeah.
you thrive on it.
I do. I mean, give me the free ammo for more content creating shit. And then the way that TikTok works is if you like comment or create a video off of someone's comment, you get more traction just initially. I don't know why, if that's how their
Yeah,
algorithm works or whatever. But yeah, once you comment or reply to someone's comments, it immediately goes out there in just a lot faster fashion. So fuck, why would I miss an opportunity to grow? I have usually gained a lot of followers off of bashing people bash me or taking it in a different way or laughing about it or yeah, I have no problem. I have no problem.
that's awesome.
You can bring on the bad negativity. I'll
I
thrive.
think
It'll
you
be all
kind
right.
of have to have a thick skin to begin with, or at least the ability to do just that if you do anything online. Like, if you allow every comment, good or bad, to get to you or every message to get to you, that could be bad. And I think being able to use that, especially for things like TikTok, where if I commented on something you did in your video, you could take my comment and literally make another video replying specifically to my content, and it'll get shared, not as a reply to my content just to me, but to everybody else. Goes back into the feed. Half the videos I see are video replies to people talking shit or asking questions about whatever, and I'm like, well, goddamn, now I got to go watch the original video to find out what spawned all this.
Exactly.
And it's kind of beautiful
So
when you
then
think
your
about it.
original video gets more traction.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
it's
Fuck yeah. Attention's attention. It's good.
yeah, and that's, there's always the debate about what's the generational names, like Gen X and millennials, Gen Z and whatever. And I don't remember who coined it. It was last year, I think. Like, we're in the look at me generation, is
Mm,
because of things like social media. Where everybody, even except for the very introverted, the people want to be seen. And whether it's, just as a hey, look at me, I exist type of thing, where hey, I want you to see the color shirt I'm wearing today because this makes my eye pop and I'm going to be an influencer type of thing. That's just the way it is these days, especially in the States. I don't necessarily know about other places, but in
right.
the
Sure.
US, that I can thrive off of the attention of strangers that I never have to interact with in a real level. But if they get the likes, oh hey, they saw my thing and they hit the like button. That's a couple thumb taps of on the screen or clicking the heart or whatever. That could make somebody's day or destroy them. Just
Yeah.
just how it is. It's the nature of the beast. But it's good that you use that as ammunition, if you will, because not everybody does. Some people will ignore all of those things or they'll use it. And I think being able to channel the reaction to that reaction is probably the best way to do it. But everybody's got their own way of dealing with stuff, so that's cool. I can get behind that.
I know a lot of creators that take time to even go and edit their comments or like not allow specific words in their comments. And it's just like, wow, where you focus your head on, you're just creating those pathways in your brain to just think like that constantly. And I just don't feel like you need to put your energy in that space. I just don't think it's healthy. I just not trying to do all that. That's way
I
too much energy
I
in the wrong
100%
space.
agree. I 100% agree.
Yeah, I went on there to feel good. I went on that app to be happy and be finding. I like creativity. I guess it's maybe the left brain side of me, and just to go on there and have a good time. So I'm just not trying to go on there and use any of that aside from just
Sure.
pushing on and creating more.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense to me. So, with regards to your the adult themed content creation, how has doing that impacted your real, regular, normal, everyday life? Like, if any, has there been any impact to just social aspects of you as a person when you're out and about? Do you run into people who know you from that?
Um, I, so I thought Texas was really big. I ran into two people. I ran into two people and it threw me for a loop. The very first one, I was so caught off guard. And like, I don't know, I've always been very aware of my situation and stuff. So like this person didn't say anything in public, went and wrote me on Snapchat later and was like, I just saw you. I was just like, I knew it. Like I knew it. I knew you were paying attention to me way too much for some
Why
reason.
are you fucking
So it's
staring?
just like, yeah, and it was like okay, but yeah. So for that, it has definitely put me. Not that I'm like I don't have a million followers or anything like that. Maybe one day, but it's just definitely put me in just like pay attention, be aware,
Yeah.
um, that space, but not really a big impactful thing on how I'm gonna go about my day or put myself in. Like I'm not gonna go and put a hat and some glasses and cover myself and be like, you don't know who I am. It's not any of that.
At least yet.
But oh yeah, shoot, maybe one day we can only hope to keep growing. But yeah, that's really the only thing that's ever really came up in my daily since I've created it.
That's yeah, that's
Squirrel.
no, that's on topic. That's perfect because I remember so back in 2010, 2011ish, I was going to the strip club all the time because I hated my house
Mm,
that I bought because I had no furniture. And instead of being smart about it, I was in this crazy ass depression. It was like 95 degrees in my house. So I was trying to always be out of there. And so I would go either out to the bars or to the strip club. And mostly because the strip club, weirdly enough, cost me less money than the bars because the one closest to my house was fully nude, so they didn't sell alcohol. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm good with a
oh
bottle of
yeah.
water, throw some money on the stage, maybe occasionally get a dance. But I spent a fuck ton of time there, resulting in a lot of money, unfortunately. But I remember one of the dancers that worked there, she was always cool. Like she was beautiful for one. She was my age, so we were that was what 30. Um, she was going to nursing school. She was trying to get out. She had like 4 kids. Blah 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 blah. But I was at Tokyo Joe's one day getting lunch before work. And I'm just looking around, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's her!" But she was there with her dad and one of her kids. I was like, "Oh, not gonna go say hi to her because like I'm not a fucking total asshole." But then the next time I was at the club and she was working, I was like, "So I'm pretty sure we saw each other at Tokyo Joe." She's like, "Yeah, I did see you, and I thank you for not coming up to me and saying anything." I was like, "Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna ruin your fucking day, like destroy your dad's impression of you, like because I'm sure he knew what she does. Like, there's no way he didn't, but that's uncool."
But you don't know. Yeah, but you don't
Yeah,
know. Maybe you don't.
and this is true. And
You
back
don't.
then, that was just the strip club aspect. You have to physically go to a place, so it's not nearly the same as now I'm on this platform, which will recommend maybe related or similar creators or anything like that. Like just the exposure of the internet leaves you wide open to that shit more so than one specific physical location. So, but I remember that, and I could still see that in my brain when I'm waiting in line at Tokyo Joe's and I see her and her dad and her kid, and I'm like, I think I know that girl. I think I've seen her boobs. Yeah, and she was beautiful. So I was like, oh, she looks equally attractive in the daylight. I was like,
Oh,
good
like it's
job,
not the
lady.
makeup.
Yeah,
Good job.
yeah. Like you, like if I ever have to go to the hospital, I hope you're my nurse. Won't be weird at all. So question
I
about
love it.
specifically about the privacy of, um, we'll go with OnlyFans and Fansly. So I have a friend. I think I mentioned in my messages to you before about my one of my friends who used to do the webcam thing, and she,
Mhm.
the web. For those of you who don't know, the webcam thing is a live video feed. Same thing. You can interact. Blah blah
Mhm.
blah. She, or at least they had it on that site that she did. She told me what it was. I can't remember what it was, but it was like a multi-platform thing through one service that you could actually restrict, um, like locations of viewers. So if I live in Colorado and I don't want anybody in Colorado to see my shit, I can say click click or whatever, however it would work, and that would restrict anybody with those IP addresses from connecting with me. But she said it didn't work, and ultimately her ex-husband found out that she
Huh.
was doing that, and then tried to run her through the ringer,
Sure.
tried to get her kids taken
Sure.
away from her, whole bunch of other shit. But she heard that OnlyFans will actually allow that, and it works. Is that something you'd heard of or used?
Uh, no, no. Thank you. Now I'm curious. I need to go look into that. But no, I was not aware of that feature.
Yeah, and I like she never ended up doing an OnlyFans, because when I she had told we met up a year and a half ago in Arizona, and we were talking, and she was telling me that some of the stories about when she was doing the webcam thing. I was like, "Holy shit, you need to be on my podcast. So we could just talk about this." She wasn't even doing it anymore, but she was talking about doing the OnlyFans as a possibility, and I was like, "You should definitely do it." And then she
Yeah,
flaked out. So, but that thing,
got it.
stupid shoe. Um, I thought that was interesting, and I could see that being very beneficial if it's a real thing. So, if you find out, let me know
Yeah,
because
definitely
that's
something.
just
I will. I will.
It's just
I'm curious. I do lives on my OnlyFans, so that's very interesting.
oh yeah, oh that's right. I think yeah they do support that stuff,
Mhm.
right? It's almost I don't
Mhm.
know. It's like Twitch with pictures. Like you can just because you can schedule shit, right? So you can make a bunch of posts and then schedule that. Kind of, I mean, you can do that with like a Facebook
Oh yeah.
business account, so or even Instagram.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Yep. Definitely do that.
Um, Same with fan. I don't know if Fansly has anything like that, but I don't know. Fansly, I don't think does anything but the adult content. I've never really looked at anything about them. Hardly ever even hear about them. It's always
I
OnlyFans.
think they're mostly, yeah, I've only ever heard them doing the S work type of stuff. But Fansly is nice because it doesn't have a lot of the restrictions that OF does.
Oh, really?
Um, I don't know
So
how
you can post
graphic you
some
want to
things to
get, but
that you
yeah,
don't. But
yeah, specific content. There's a lot of, again, I don't know how graphic you want to get, but
it's up to
like you
you.
can't on OnlyFans, you can't on OnlyFans you can't do like fisting. You
Mm.
can't show like specific bodily functions. You can't show a lot of that kind of content. So you can
I
over
do
on
remember
Fansly.
something about them not allowing
OnlyFans
fisting.
doesn't allow any, yeah, which is wild. But OF doesn't allow like non meant for sex like sex work like toys. They don't allow that kind of stuff. So if you do anything like that, you have to put it somewhere else on
Oh,
Fansly.
so something not like a sex toy, but being used as such.
Mhm.
I got you. I'm picking up what you're putting
Mhm. You
down.
can't do that.
That is weird that they have those restrictions. Like out of anything, I wouldn't think it'd be those. Like the bodily functions one, whatever. But yeah, that's the toy thing. That's kind of a weird one. But I don't know. Maybe they're trying to keep the deviants, whatever. I
I
don't
think
know.
so. I think so.
Trying to make them look a little
And
more
then it's also
respectable.
wild, just like with TikTok, it just depends on the revenue you're bringing them. I've seen a lot of creators uh, get a lot, like away with a lot more than regular creators
Oh yeah,
on that
I
platform.
believe it. I believe, yeah, and I think you're right. It
Yeah.
comes down to the money. What are you bringing to the table?
Oh, 100%.
Always
How
does.
are they going to kick you out if you're making them tons? Shoo, that's bad business. No one would do that.
Absolutely. That's yeah. Which is why, like, when they were thinking about blocking the adult content to begin with, they realized how much money that would
Hmm.
cost them, and said maybe
Hmm.
we were wrong. So, speaking
It
of
might
money,
not be the best idea.
right? Like, if my bread company stops selling, loaves of bread, I'm gonna lose a lot of money. So that's just the way it goes. Uh, I don't run a business like that, so I whatever. I wish I did. I'd be fucking loaded. Um, Speaking of money, and you don't have to answer these with actual numbers if you don't want to. What cut do the sites like Fansly and OnlyFans take out of your revenue, whether it's the monthly subscriptions or any of your paid content? Do they take a standard percentage, or is it like if
They
you make
do.
this, I want to take this, but if you make this, I'll take only this?
No, so I think it's pretty generic. Like OF takes 20% just off of any content you put out there, your subscription, paid for view, anything you send in DMs, everything. It's just a straight 20.
Okay,
I do believe Fansly is 15 or 10. It's a little bit less, and I think that's just their marketing to get people to go over to them is, hey, we charge less.
probably, and maybe just because that's
But that's
introductory.
about as far as my knowledge. Hmm. I think that's about as far as my knowledge that I'm aware of as far as those two sites, because those are only two I'm on. I don't know what MiniVids takes. I haven't gotten this far with my creation of that account.
That's good. And do you? So I know that because of the differences in what they allow, do you post mostly the same stuff to both, or and then your extra niche content go to Fansly, or is it some stuff I post only to OnlyFans, some stuff I post only to Fansly, just for the variety of my subscribers?
No, it's pretty just straightforward. I put everything I can on OnlyFans. If they don't allow it, I throw it on Fansly.
Oh, well, there you go.
It's
It's
pretty
good to have
simple for
options.
me. Yeah,
I like that.
I just
I
keep
have
it simple
seen
like that.
I have seen creators do it. Like if you're on my OnlyFans, you'll see me doing this particular thing. If you're on my Fansly, you'll see me doing this particular thing. Or they'll share to both of them. But even like, I think it was when I first signed up for TikTok, uh, and I started creating, I was looking at some of the stuff, some of the tips and tricks. And I don't do much on TikTok. Occasionally I'll post parts of an episode of this, or, when I was in Japan, I posted my shitty train ride. Wasn't shitty, but, not a great video of it. Simple. Um, if you post, and I don't know if this is true with them, but on TikTok, if you post something to TikTok and then you take that same exact video, maybe save it from TikTok and then re-upload it to Instagram, there was some sort of thing in their algorithm where they'll know that you're cross-posting it, and then they'll kill your views on TikTok, or vice versa. So if I started and did just a Reels video on Instagram and then downloaded that and uploaded that as its own TikTok thing, the algorithms will, I don't know, meet in the middle somewhere and say, okay, we're going to kill your views on your original one because of this, because you're cross posting it. So I've seen it, the best practice, and I don't know if this is true, but the best practice was to create your TikTok video, make a modification, and create a second post to Instagram to avoid that. But I don't know how true that is.
Interesting.
I've done that, but it's usually the audio. It's like I'll change the music or the song or something. I don't ever, like, I don't get a ton of views on anything, so whatever. But I read that and I didn't know if that was the commonality with OnlyFans and Fansly. So it's just interesting.
Yeah, yeah, I don't. I know that a lot of people have been either dicked off by OF or have had unfortunately, their credit card get stolen a lot, so people won't go on OF anymore. So having a secondary option for them is always good.
Oh yeah,
It's nice to have options for people. That's another
fucking
thing I've
credit
noticed
cards.
just for trends.
Sure, sure.
Mm, OF, I don't know what their deal is, but their customer information gets stolen a lot, and that's janky.
Yeah, that's
I
not
feel
good.
so bad for my heathen that have their shit stolen, and it's just like, I'm so sorry. You were just trying to have a good time.
Did you say you're heathens?
Now your wife. Yeah, that's what I call them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, that's terrible. That's, and I wonder if it's just because they're so big in their public facing world, their marketing and everything, that hackers just know they're going to be the ones that
Yeah,
if they can
just
get
a
the
big
info,
target.
yeah, they'll just have more more shit they can try to get if they were able to hack it. So
Yeah.
I wonder if that's probably what it is. But so your content
Someone's
itself,
conscience doesn't probably feel bad stealing from someone who buys
that's probably very,
porn.
very true. Yeah. Like that's like when I was a dispatcher, I took a 911 call. She was a crackhead, and I say that with the most respect I can possibly have, but she was a crackhead who called to report a robbery because she was buying some, and she's literally telling me this just like I'm telling you now. She was buying some crack from her dealer, and she gave the dude the money, and then he just ran away. And I was like, so you want to report
You call
that
the cops.
you got robbed by your dealer while you're trying to buy crack? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, so you want to speak to an officer? And I was trying to convince her that that's the process, because it is. And she's like, oh, you know what, that's a good
It's
point,
not a
maybe
good
I don't
idea.
want to. And I was like, all right, well, I was like, I'll send a message around just to keep a lookout for this. And I got the dude's description and everything. I got her description too, and I sent a message around the room that says, just FYI, crackhead number one reporting robbery by crack dealer who she gave the money to, and then he ran off. And I was like, I kept going, crackhead number one, crackhead number two, crackhead number one, crackhead number two. And then the next day I got in trouble from my supervisor because he's like, maybe don't send a message around like that, because that's all public information too. So like, if something happens and I go to court, they could be like, let's pull his messages from the system. And they're like, why are you just calling these fuckers crackheads? I'm like, well, if the shoe fits, like,
Well,
it is what it is. But I mean, I will remember that forever. Just,
oh, that's
how were
great.
you
She's
robbed?
like, it's not a good idea.
I gave my dealer $40 and then he just fucking ran away. I'm like,
I just love the thought process. She's like, I will call the
yeah,
cops.
like you're new to the crack game, aren't you? Like,
I know what to do.
it's like, good luck with your future endeavors, young lady. Like, it was the funniest shit ever, and I
911 will
was just
help me.
blown away. Like, I get it. We're here to help, but I don't know how much effort they're gonna put into that. It was fucking classic.
We're here to help, but not with your illegal shit. That's their new commercial.
Yeah,
We're
protecting and
here to help,
serving,
but not with your
maybe.
illegal shit.
It's like
Depends on the.
it's something similar that, like, not really similar, not nearly as funny as took a call one day. It was the middle of
Oh.
the afternoon, and it was a report of shots fired at a condominium complex in Aurora, and shithole condos. Like, I had a friend who lived there, just shithole area altogether. And so this shots fired thing turned out to be legit, but it was before recreational weed was legalized here. Only medicinal, and you could have, I don't remember what the plant count you could have was per person, but
Mm-hmm.
in this condo, the two people that lived there had a little grow house going, and
Mm.
obviously these people knew who they were. They kicked in the door and tried to jack these dudes, and these guys got lit the fuck up. So guess who went to jail? Nobody. They were defending their apartment from this home invasion that happened, and even though they had more than the legal amount of marijuana, so they got in trouble for that. But as far as shooting these fuckers, nope. The guns were all legal. Everything was legal except for the amount of plants that they had. I'm like, all right. It was crazy.
I like it. The system did what it's supposed to.
It
That's
really
good.
did. It was fucking weird day, but it was kind of, the officer sent me a message like, "Oh yeah, these dudes Swiss cheese these guys that kicked in the door." I'm like, "That's the professional terminology is Swiss cheesed." Like, lots of
Yeah,
holes. So
wild.
so as far as your content goes, and the pricing, so you have the monthly subscription, whatever that is a month.
Hmm.
Do you set that price, or do they have a recommendation for, like, if you're a new content creator? I don't imagine you want to make your subscription price crazy high per month unless you already have some sort of notoriety. So, like, a feature
Yeah.
dancer, or even some hot model. What's her face? The Disney chick, Bella Thorne. I remember she started one, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and like in a day made $6 million just on that shit. But she could probably set her subscription stupid high just because she's a celebrity already, and people want to see
You have
see what's
that.
going on. So, how do you set it? Is it just something you come up with, or do they have a guide?
So they do have a guide, but it's just more of just like a basic. It's a very basic guide. They have a subscription minimum, the lowest that you can set it to
Oh,
as
okay.
well. I think it's $4.99 or $5. So they do have a requirement there. But no, it's your own learning curve. Mine is significantly changed. I started high and now it's lower.
You got to do what you got to do.
So yeah.
What
Mhm.
about what about
Yeah,
the
I
go ahead.
no, it's okay. Continue.
What about your paid content? Do they have guides for that too, or is it, I spent an hour on
Mm-mm.
this, or this video is 10 minutes long, I'm gonna charge $1 per minute or whatever?
Yeah, no, that's all your own discretion. They don't have any
Okay.
guide for that at all. There's a minimum again though, for sending stuff. So when you have a subscription page, you can't put anything on your wall that's to be paid for. You can put a fundraiser on there, but anything that is a paid requirement to see, you have to send in the DM, and I think it's a $3 minimum there.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I could see them not allowing paid things on your wall that you're already paying to see to begin with, but
Yeah, you pay to get in there.
right,
It should be free, I guess, for you to actually scroll through it. But
included.
then on the pay-per-view side, because I have both, I have a subscription and then I have a pay-per-view. On the pay-per-view side, you can charge to see everything.
Yeah, that makes sense
Anything you
too.
put up, you can put a price on it. Yeah,
Because
pay-per-view.
anybody with an account can come across and just be like, oh yeah, I want to see that, but get the taste, the sample viewing or
Yeah,
whatever. So that
yeah.
makes sense.
It was funny story when I first created my pay-per-view. I hadn't created my VIP yet, and I didn't really know how to upload everything. And you can always put like a free preview on your video. And I was just uploading my videos to the free side. So I'd had to pay like, oh yeah, people got some free content for a bit. Good for you, good for you. But yeah, learning curves are fun.
And after
There's
you found
definitely
that out,
no
you can
like
go back
walk
and
you
change it,
through on
right?
that. Yeah, but it was definitely up for a few days before I realized it. I'm like, why can you see this? My friend was like, I'm on your page. Why am I seeing your stuff? I'm like, why are you? You didn't pay.
Yeah, that could
But
be
yeah.
unfortunate. Missed
Yeah, it
revenue,
was a fun
uh,
learning curve.
super
Yeah,
easily found content you didn't want people to super easily find. Like I could see that.
and for real, for real. It's definitely been a fun curve too, blocking people on new accounts. You know, you don't want specific people to find. You got to go and cross block everyone on all your accounts.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's been fun too.
Block
Hmm.
them one, they'll just find you another one. I see that just randomly on various other people that I know that have any kind of social media. If they block stalker on media number one, they got to go to the other social platform and make sure they're there. If they create another one for whatever reason, or like a business page for something they're
Yep.
doing, that person will find them because assholes are
Yep.
dedicated. So I
They
get that.
are. Oh, I love my haters. My haters are my biggest supporters. It's
It's awesome.
wild. Y'all hate me so much, but you devote so much time. Good for you. Get a hobby.
It's
I'm it.
yeah, views are views. It's whatever. I get that.
Yeah, and
That's
that's it. That's exactly it.
so what kind of advice would you give to anybody who's looking to start a similar adventure, whether it's um, not even necessarily OnlyFans or Fansly type stuff, but let's say you're looking to be just a TikTok creator, but you want to be good. What kind of advice would you give to somebody looking to do that? Let's say they're an adult.
Oh, yeah. Find a way to stay relevant. Stay up with it. Create every day. Be in people's faces. I really found that anything that's controversial does well. So if you have an opinion, put it out there.
That's
People do, yeah,
fucking
people
true.
like to argue.
It's true,
People
for
like
better or
to
worse.
yeah. So that kind of, I've definitely seen a lot of good traction on that. And just, I mean, when I first started, even if I had this outlook on it, sure, I wasn't as thick skinned. Going to it thick skinned. The internet is a freaking mean place. People are vile. So just go in
Absolutely.
there and realize that people, that's not going to be any different. So
Yeah.
just go out there and do your thing and don't give a fuck about other people. Just if it makes you happy, fucking do it.
I yeah, I 100% agree, and that's the way I look at it. You can't, and I've seen that even before the internet. You read interviews with celebrities and whatever, and oh, did you read the review about your new movie and how it got trashed in the review No, they just don't read that shit. Sometimes you need to, sometimes you shouldn't. You just absolutely shouldn't. And
Yeah.
like you said, the internet's a
Yeah.
vile place, and people are just. It could even be something as innocuous as a random person. I just don't like the color of your hair. Well, fuck you, buddy. It's not your hair. I can engage that person or I can move on. It's all about how you react to it, and I think that's true just to life, not even social media or the internet or anything like that. It's how about you react, or it's how you react to everything. And if you let it roll off your shoulders or roll off your back, you'll be better. I think take the good stuff as you need to. Use the bad stuff to fuel the fire if you need to. Otherwise, fucking just go do your thing. It's the only thing I can have,
Exactly.
or the only thing I can say about it. Um, what else do I have? I guess that's pretty much all the questions I have. Do you want to promote your socials? I'll add these to my if you send them to me, all the different ones, not the direct platform ones, but the regular socials. I'll put those in the description.
Yeah, like Instagram and Snapchat
Yeah. What are those?
for sure. So my Instagram is underscore Tasha Seeing Stars, and then my Twitter is Tasha Seeing Star, and then my TikTok is Tasha Seeing Stars 6. That's my backup, but my main is Spicy Unicorn for you.
Spicy
For you,
unicorn.
for fun. I don't even know what my fucking handle is. That's horrible.
I'm assuming those socials have
I've had
some
to
sort of
change. I've
link.
had to change it. I've had to change it so many times. Yeah, everything is at Linktree Tasha Seeing Stars.
Okay, maybe I'll
I
just
have
post that
everything
then.
on my Linktree.
No
That's
underscore there.
probably the easiest.
Okay, yeah, I'll just do that then.
No, no underscore there.
Well, that's awesome. I
That's
very
probably the
truly
best way.
appreciate you taking some time to talk to me about this because it's things that I kind of knew about and not necessarily had ever really dwelled on. But um, yeah, it's very enlightening. And I think a lot of people, because I have a lot of friends that do listen to this who don't, they don't venture into that world, but they've heard it mentioned before. And I'm sure there's a curiosity that they just haven't opened up about. So maybe this will be enlightening for them, maybe inspiring. So I really do appreciate you.
For sure. No, I appreciate the opportunity to come on your show. I love your show. I've loved it since you put it
Thank you.
out there. So it's a real honor to be able to be on your show. And then, yeah, I'm hoping I can put it out into my world and get you some new viewers and some new traction for
Absolutely.
your show.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll make that. Do you want the video of this? I'll clean it up so it doesn't have my fucking
Yeah.
trashed ass background.
Oh, shoot. Whatever's
I'll
clever.
put a
No, I would
background of
love
like
it though,
something
please.
cool. Cool. Very good. I really, really thank you very much. And this will be, like I said, 2 weeks from tomorrow. This will go up.
Okay.
It is
Perfect.
Sunday, right? It is
Rad. Well,
Sunday now. Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you very much, my
Yeah.
dear.
Yeah. Yeah. We changed
Let
it.
me kill.